Hi, my name is Jeff Bland, and this is my This I Believe essay for my leadership class. Today, I'd like to talk to you about two values I think are very important in leadership: honesty and decency. I derived these two values, which I hold very dear, after listening to Van Jones's This I Believe essay on the NPR link. And I began to think about my father. How he emulates these two values, which I hope to carry on. My father grew up in a strong matriarchy in eastern North Carolina. His mother was no bully. She was always supportive, but she was very instructive and deliberate in the way she said things. As he liked to say, she was very poignant in the way she instructed us. And one of these very important values that she spread to my father are honesty and decency. I got to see those two values in action when I helped my father run a political campaign in January to November of 2016. It was a very unique experience, and it really tested how people live up to those two values. We see in the national media all the time how political campaigns are very divisive and mean and partisan. It's hard to see the good in democracy when we see an election. And those are the same type of values, those same type of setbacks are in local elections as well. My father ran against an incumbent, a judge, for the seat of Superior Court judge in our county. And to be frank, our opponent was, he was a convicted criminal. He was a felon who was just recently found guilty, at least at that time, of bribery and corruption charges on a federal level. Now, you might be thinking that seems like an easy election, that the people would clearly choose someone who's qualified, like my father, over a man who was just convicted of a crime. However, the man was a hometown hero. He was beloved by many people, and rightfully so. He was a decent man. However, it was dishonest and indecent for him to run again. So when my father ran against him, it was very challenging to not run a smear campaign, although it had been very easy to do so. Instead, we were relatively quiet in that field, but strong in our support of his own credentials. We went to every barbecue. We went to every church gathering. We went to political meetings, parades, you name it, all across the county over the course of 11 months. And it was hard, as conspiracies and weird theories circulated around the county on the news. We decided to stick our heads in the right direction and stay on the side of honesty. Luckily, the campaign worked out for us. Our campaign of honesty and decency went out, and he assumed the role of judge. And every day, I know he thinks about how important it is to keep those values as he continues to work. I've had an experience with these two values very recently, in fact. I applied to the undergraduate business program at Keenan Flagler School of Business this past weekend. And in preparation for doing those and all 8 essays that I had to write, I heard from some of my friends and acquaintances I've made who also are applying to the same program about how people lie to bolster their application, to bolster their resume. And I thought about it for myself as I came short on an idea or an essay in which I know I could write a little bit more about something else, and I couldn't really fathom what I should write. I thought maybe I could take this path. Maybe I should kind of follow the herd. And I think about my father and the way he led so gracefully in his election, as he was honest and he was decent in everything he did. A good leader always can recognize right and wrong. They can recognize honesty and dishonesty. But a good leader is someone who looks after their reputation. They want a reputation as someone who's dependable, as someone who can be trusted. And I believe that some of this class wants us to believe and to grow into as well. So when I'm pressed for the hard challenge, I think about the leader that is my father, and even when his back was pressed up against the wall, he stayed strong, he stayed honest, and he stayed true to how his mother raised him, to be a decent man of high character and high morals. A leader who holds honesty and decency in his or her heart is someone I look up to and has made themselves a great leader. And that is what I believe.